I think the most important thing in relation to visibility of nursing is to ensure that nurses are at every table, every policy table, every political table, whether it's local, whether it's national, whether it's regional or global. It's very important that the nurse's voice is heard. The nurse has a very important voice, an important voice in relation to nursing, in relation to healthcare, in relation to the patients, because nobody has as much information about the patient as the nurse. The nurse sees the patient, she knows what's wrong with the patient, she knows diagnosis, and she knows his treatment. But not alone that, she knows his family, his community, what his worries are, who will look after him when he gets out, how will his rehabilitation be, and what will be his worries in relation to work and in relation to his family. So the nurse has a lot of information that would be very valuable in health policy. Besides, she knows what's wrong in the community, and she knows the issues that are in the community. I think that the essence of nursing is interpersonal relationships with the patient and with the family, and it's person-centred care. Too often what we see is treatment and diagnosis, and you're talking about the disease rather than the person. But that's where nursing makes the difference. So it's very important that the relationship is built on trust, on listening, on communication, and finding out as much as possible about the patient and the family. So we should never lose the essence of nursing, which is person-centred care. Nurses have advanced dramatically over the last 30 years. They're now undertaking degrees, masters, PhDs. They can now work at advanced level. It helps in relation to how much time they can spend with the patients. It helps in relation to the quality of care. It helps in relation to nurses being able to diagnose and treat and prescribe. Because if you want to intervene very quickly, the best person to do that is the nurse. And they can do an awful lot in relation to areas like primary health care, holistic care in relation to palliative care, in relation to death and dying, in relation to elderly care. They can make a huge difference in all of those areas, where perhaps doctors don't have the same input or the same time. It's our opportunity to profile nursing. It's our opportunity to show what nurses do, the difference they make to people's lives, how they are efficient and effective. And I see, as I cross the world, nurses making a great difference in relation to changing the models of care, using their own initiative to go out to remote areas and rural areas, to go out on horseback, to go out in mobile homes. I don't think people understand actually what nurses do. Some of it is our own fault because we don't talk about what we do. But every day nurses save lives. If I go into hospital, I want a competent doctor to look after me. Yes, I do, if I'm having surgery. But I equally want a competent nurse. Because if I don't have a competent nurse who will recognise that I may be in danger of infection, hemorrhage, obstruction, then at the very least, I will spend a long period in hospital. At the very worst, I may die. So to me, nurses save lives every day, and we have to start saying that. I think the future of nursing is great. I'm very optimistic about the future of nursing. I think we have a lot of global leaders supporting nursing currently. And we have the best time of influencing global policy. But I think we have to show that what nurses do, that we impact on people's lives. What we try to do is keep people healthy for a lot longer. And keeping people healthy is what we need to do if we want to improve the economy. Healthy people make healthy economies. I think that universities have to recognise that they have a big role to play in relation to policy, in relation to evidence-based practice, in relation to actually communicating what they have found in relation to evidence-based practice, in relation to getting involved with media outlets when they're talking about health, in any relation to any kind of health, that they're there and that they will talk about what they have found and what nurses can do and how they can support and how they can help. So I do think that the universities have a huge role to play in relation to the future of nursing and in relation to how they communicate that to the wider society.